Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class here on YouTube and Facebook. It is, it's Wednesday, December 14th at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm broadcasting to you live. I love that you're all here. A big welcome to all of you. Please subscribe to my channel, like, share the video, and then let me know if you're sharing, because when you comment, you get entered into a prize drawing. And on that note, I'm going to introduce to you our moderator, Trisha Joseph. She's here with me on YouTube. I can't actually go back and comment directly on comments that are made during the live on YouTube. And so she's here to help with questions and directing you in the right direction, all that sort of thing. If you look in the description of the YouTube video, even while we're live, you can see that there's a link to the supplies that I'm using. There's a link to the blog post, which will go live in a little over an hour. If you're watching live on Facebook, I will transfer that information over shortly after the video is done. And so on that note, I'm sorry, I'm just going to click on something here. I get these little distracting messages on my program. And yeah, anyways, I'm glad you're all here with me. And I love that you're sharing where you're from. I love that you're sharing the weather. It's always interesting to hear what everyone is experiencing. Here in Minnesota, we've had some warmer days and we've got snow on the ground that's been sticking around for a long time now. So it looks very wintry here and feels very wintry, which makes it great for us Minnesotans because we love having a white winter, a white Christmas. So yeah, sometimes when there's not enough snow and we have an occasional green Christmas here and there, it feels weird, but I'm sure a lot of you are used to that. Anyways, I'm not going to talk much more about the weather. I do want to say that Lisa Marshall is on vacation. She's not with us on Facebook today, but I can go back and answer questions in Facebook. If you have them, go ahead and share them in the comments though, because I do catch some comments on my screen here. Not very many, but I do. I look over there once in a while. When you don't see me looking directly at the camera, that's because I'm looking at the comments, trying to catch a few. So we're going to share some Blends markering today. Blends markers. Blends Stampin' markers are the Stampin' Up! Equivalent to the other alcohol-based markers that are out there, and they're awesome to color with. If you've ever experienced coloring with alcohol-based markers, you know that the colors blend together really nice. It makes you feel like an artist, even if you officially aren't one, right? So we're going to play around with those today. I'm going to do some basics of Blends markering. I've got some really cute cards to share with you with a new stamp set called Adorable Owls. It is one of the freebies that you can earn when you purchase in January and February when celebration begins, January 5th. So keep it in mind. These are things that you'll just put on your wish list, okay? Because unless you're a demonstrator, you can't get them now, at least the three products that are newer. So let me bring you to my desktop so you can see those. I know, I love using the blends too. This is the Adorable Owls stamp set. And super cute images, right? Gotta love it. My mother's maiden name is Ugala or Ugala, depending on how you pronounce it. And I think it means owl, which is really pretty cool. We collect owls on my mom's side of the family. We just think that they're so adorable, hence the name. So it's a great all-around kind of set as far as, it's your day. You can use that for pretty much any occasion, right? Hoot hoot, you're so cute, and my friend, sweet little sentiments in there. You can always add other sentiments to any stamp set, right? You can mix and match, but the owls are just super cute with their eyeballs. They have such big eyes. This is the paper that you can't get yet either. And this paper, and I'm just going to pull this little sheet out of the middle here because what I did is I separated them so you can see every sheet. There are, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to say there's 12 designs in here. 12 times 4, yes, 12 times 4 is 48. So there are 12 designs and they're double-sided. So you're going to see me flip through these and you're going to see 24 designs because this one is back to back with, oh gosh, well, it's in here somewhere. It's back to back with one of them. Anyways, I've got them all in here so you can see them all. These are beautiful. The artist that designed them obviously painted with acrylic paints to get that beautiful look here. You can see, or maybe they're oils. No, they look like acrylics to me. I don't know. It's been so long since I've taken an art class. You guys tell me, okay? Gorgeous though. Soaps, so pretty. So some of them are just more like monochromatic, or not, yeah, monochromatic backgrounds like this one. And then there's multiple colors. Some you can tell are floral, and oh, there's that, you know, there you go. Some you can tell are flowers. Some just look like little dots of paint. Lots of colors, right? There's a ton of colors in this collection, and it's called Fancy Flora. It's 6x6, and you can see the colors that are listed here. Balmy blue, basic gray, calypso coral, daffodil delight, evening evergreen, fresh freesia, night of navy, orchid oasis, pool party, soft sea foam, soft suede, and soft succulent. Lots of softs. I do want to point out that mint macaron is not listed there, but when you look at papers, this is mint macaron. I'm going to show you the mint macaron paper. You can see how it works with mint macaron. So it's not even limited to those papers, because you get all of these mixes and you know, lots of different combinations when you paint the colors side by side and swirl them together. And then there's one other new product that you can't get your hands on quite yet unless you're a demonstrator, and those are the pastel adhesive back sequins. I'm loving these. The wonderful thing, sorry, what's the DSP called? It is called Fancy Flora. And then the wonderful thing about these adhesive back sequins is that they're a flatter type of embellishment. They stick on, and it just makes things easier to mail, right? You've got two different sizes. You get 2 sheets of them. It's crazy. There's a lot of them. In fact, I'm losing them because there's so many. Stick that back on the sheet. So let's pull in some cardstock right now. All the other supplies that are listed in the supply list in the description of the video on YouTube or on Facebook later on, you can get. It's just these 3 things right now. You have to wait until January 5th, okay? Hoot hoot, I'm actually watching this live. I love it, Laura. All right, so we're going to take and we're going to cut this mint macaron cardstock in half. We've got 8.5 by 11 cardstock that we're using. We're cutting it in half in both directions actually this time, because our card base piece is going to be just a flat piece, and the part that folds on the card is going to be created with a flap. So I kind of call these things flap folds. I need sequins in my life, says Susan. Love it. So we're cutting down the middle here. We've got 4¼ inches wide now, and if we cut in half in this direction, we're going to have 8.5 inches. All right, so there we go. There is a piece that will fit into our medium envelopes. Okay, so you just have to cut a piece that's 1/4 of one of those sheets. Now the white is going to be another layer on top, so we're going to cut this one just a fraction of an inch shorter. Okay. Hi, Vicki. So we're going to go to 4 1/8 inches, and we're going to slice. So instead of 4 1/4, we're going 1/8 of an inch shorter. Okay. Oh, who is this? First Facebook Live that I've managed to catch. Hey, Vicki. All right. And then we're going to go to, that was a different Vicki, I think. Gosh, we've got a couple Vickies on today. And then we've got just 1/8 of an inch shorter on the other direction. So instead of 5 1/2, we're going to go to 5 3/8, which is right here. Okay, so we're going to move it to that spot. And these two layered together on top of each other are going to form the base inside of the card. You'll be able to see the outside edges of it. If you looked at the preview image that's accompanying the video, you can already see a peek of the cards, right? And then we're going to need some paper. And what you do with your designer paper is you basically just cut it in half. This is the perfect card for someone who is using 6x6 designer paper, because you cut it in half and you can make 2 cards from 1 sheet. We're going to cut right down the middle, and we have a 3-inch wide piece. 3x6, and that extra amount that goes beyond the 5.5-inch mark is the part that we're going to tuck in and attach between these two layers. All right, so we're going to score that, and I've already done that here, but I'm going to go ahead and score it anyways. So we're going to score, and you can see such beautiful paper, right? We're going to score at, it's going to be just over the 5 3/8 inch mark. So remember when we did that last cut, I'm going to zoom in here. When we did that last cut, we were at 5 3/8. The first paper was 5.5. The second, the white one, was 5 3/8. And for this one, we're going to go just over, but not to the 16th inch mark. And then we're going to score it there using the scoring blade, okay? And that's going to give us the part that folds back, okay? All right, now let's move this out of the way. I've also got some scraps that I've pulled in. And the scraps are, let's see here, I've got a white piece and I've got another coordinating color. And what I did is I just pulled out a darker color from the back side. And so I chose the Calypso Coral color. And I've already got one piece cut out with our scallop circle die. So we're bringing in a couple dies now, all right? So we're gonna have these two sets of dies that we're using for these cards. If you do not own a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine or even the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can use punches instead. Maybe you have some larger punches that you'd be able to use, or you can trace circles and cut them out. You don't have to own it all in order to craft. There's my other friend, Vicky. Hi, Vicky. I think we have 3 Vickies on today that I've seen show up here. So we're using the largest. Is it the largest? Hang on a minute. No, it's the second to the largest, okay? So of our scallop circles, we're using the second to the largest. And then instead of using, and you could use these, but I just wanted the stitched look. Instead of using the smooth circles from that same set of dies, then we're going to use the second to the largest stitched circle. So you don't, again, like I said, you don't have to own it all. You can just get the layering circle dies if you need to choose between the two. You can trace a circle from a glass or a cup or something. You know, there's other ways to get around some of these awesome tools that you'll eventually want to own. But let's go ahead and stamp now. Because we have a non-photo polymer stamp set, we have the cling mount stamp set. We're going to stamp first and then die cut. I think it's easier that way because you can't see all the way through. You got the outside edges of the stamps. Stamps have come a long way, haven't they, since the wooden blocks? You've got the outside edges of the shape, but it's still a lot easier to stamp first and then die cut when you have a stamp that you can't see completely through. So we're going to go ahead. I love it. Is it Eva or Ava? She just commented saying, oh, now I see the Calypso Coral from your top. Yes, so I try to coordinate my colors, right? I used to do my nails and stopped doing my nails, and now I do my clothing to match colors that I'm, yeah. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and stamp that down. It's close to Calypso Coral. It actually, well, yeah, it's not the exact, it's pretty close when you look in the camera. Okay, we're just pressing, we're not rocking because we don't want to pick up any ink that might have got on the edges of our stamp, and we've stamped it down. And now we're going to demonstrate, and I might have to cut this down a little bit, die cutting. And I'm going to show you the mini stamp and mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. The mini one is a lot smaller. Let me compare them side by side here if we can zoom out just a tad. So here's the mini. And here's the regular one. The mini one also has the sides that pull out, but you can see that it only accommodates up to a certain size die, okay? I'm showing off the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because there's going to be a joining special when celebration begins that includes being able to choose between this white one and a boho blue one. So, all right. Anyways, we've got some back order issues on it right now though, so I'm not going to talk too much about it yet, but just know that if you want this really cool machine, that would be the time to get it. So you see we have to cut this down just a little bit because it's too wide. So I'm just going to trim off to 3.5 inches here, and that should fit. And then we're going to bring in the die. And remember I said that we're using the second to the largest stitched circle on our Stylish Shapes dies. These are the Stylish Shapes dies, okay? Yes, some people do prefer the red rubber or the cling mount more than the photopolymer. Here's the difference if you're wondering. The photopolymer, which is the clear one, is a slightly softer rubber. So you're going to have a little bit squishier of an image. Sometimes the image doesn't come out as clear. When Stampin' Up! Decides between their stamp sets, they oftentimes will pick the red rubber for those. Oops, sorry, forgot to put this pad down. Got to do our scratchy one, and then we do our clear one on, or our cleaner one on top. Okay, did you see what I just did there? We have our one and in between our twos, and then we've got our paper with our die right on top, and I've held it in place with the sticky note or post-it note. So when they choose the red rubber, they choose it for those stamp sets that have a lot more detail in them, maybe some shading, that sort of thing. When they choose the photopolymer, it's usually because there's some layering that's involved, like you want to be able to see on top of another image, maybe a 2-step or 3-step kind of stamp set or something. So I'm just I'm cranking slowly because I don't want to shake the table too much. But you crank it through. This is a great machine to have on your desktop, take with you to crops and retreats. You know, stick it in your purse so you can impress people and just die cut on the fly. All right, so here we have, and peel a sticky note away, our adorable little owl cut out, ready to color. That's how simple die cutting is. It's a really fun tool to be able to die cut. Okay, so let's zoom in again. This time we're going to do some coloring. I've got some grid paper down. You want to have a protected surface. That way you don't have these alcohol markers stain your tables. And I'm using the basic white cardstock. I think that the basic white thick tends to have the best results. I'm just using the regular basic white. You can also use shimmery white cardstock. That tends to have really good results too. But when you go beyond and you're using other types of paper, you might not have as great a results. Our basic white is so strong, you know, the fibers just hold things in. There's not a lot of bleeding unless you're going over and over and over again with the coloring, okay? All right, so what colors do we have? Oh my gosh, we have a ton. I have listed all the colors that I used on all 5 cards because you're going to see 5 eventually at the end of this video. You can see all these colors, right? Let's zoom out just a bit. Whoa, that's a full screen. Okay, so we've got Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, and I also used the Petal Pink. These ones were used for the beak and the feet of the owls. And then, yep, a little over 3 inches, 3 1/4, 3 1/4, I would say, if people are asking how big can the die be in there. Thank you, Sandy. And then we've got Balmy Blue, and we've got Orchid Oasis, and we've got Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent, Soft Seafoam, and Soft Succulent. So these colors I did for eyes and for the body of the owls. Okay. All right, let's move them aside. We're going to grab our cute little owl and we're going to color. We're going to use the Soft Seafoam for the body, Calypso Coral for the beak, and Balmy Blue for the eyes. I think, are we zoomed in pretty good here? Let me just go a little closer here. Okay, so the order in which I do my coloring with my blends markers is I do light, dark, light. It's just the easiest for me. I've found that a lot of people do that as well. You can see there's 2 different tips. You've got your bullet tip and you've got your brush tip. You've also got the caps on really tight. You want to have tight caps. You've got finger grab areas for your caps so that you can pull them off and on real easily. They're not round markers, so they shouldn't roll away on you. They stay where they're at when you put them on your table, so you can, you know, color in a storm. The labeling's on the side. All right, so when we pull the cap off, I like to hold it like this because then I can grab the cap and pull it straight off instead of pulling it at an angle. Sometimes when you pull a marker off, you tend to go like this, right? And if you're doing that, you can hurt the tip of your marker. So try to pull straight out, and then you can grab the cap and pull it off. Am I using the, oh, I got the dark one, hang on. Cap them when you're not using them. Okay, so we're gonna color first with our light, and we're gonna just do a few areas here. The backs of the ears, the top above the beak area that comes down. You can certainly color way more on your owl than I'm doing on mine, but you know, sometimes when you're making a bunch of these, and I've made several. These cards are actually the cards that I made for the team birthday cards for December. So if you were a part of my Stampers with Art community, the people that have gotten the starter kit through me, this would be your card for your birthday if you had a December birthday. Not very wintry, is it? But those December birthdays, they luck out. They get to have new product on their cards, right? All right, so now I'm going in with my dark. So right now you just see smooth color on there, okay? It's all one color. Now I want to come in and I'm just going to add some darkness behind this back of that ear, I'm going to come underneath the chin area and just do a little bit through here, maybe down through here and a little bit here. Okay, now it looks like there's a distinct difference between the two. You can see where the lines are. This particular set of blends, at least with my set, is blending together very well on its own. I have to tell you, I barely have to come in with the light one and kind of squiggle them to bring them together. But you might, I'll show you with another set of colors where you have to work a little bit harder. So now they're going to blend and you're going to see just this gradual change of dark to light. Let's go ahead and do the eyeballs here. We're going to go in with the balmy blue light. And on this side. And I'm avoiding that little dot that's in there. Do you see the dot in the eyes? That's something that I've seen in a lot of cartoon characters. If you're watching shows with your kids nowadays, I don't know, maybe older cartoons did this too, but that little white sparkle in the eyes is real popular with artists, cartoonists nowadays. Okay, do you see what we did there? Now I can go back in and add just a little touch of light right between there, kind of swirl it to help blend those two colors. Okay, now we're going to do the feet and the beak. And we're starting with the light on the feet. And you can use the bullet tip too. I just like the point that's on the brush tip because it's easier for me to see where the very tip is. But if you prefer the bullet tip, you can use that end instead. The brush tip can get mangled if you are using it to color things like your rhinestones or ribbon. So I like to have, that's because I love Stampin' Up! Stuff, but I like to have a second set sometimes with my most popular colors. So I oftentimes have the ones that I can, you know, get more ratty than the other ones, and then I save these for when I'm doing intricate coloring. So now you can see the flow of color. You can see how that worked. Ta-da! So our little owl, he or she, is done. We're going to now take this piece, grab some Seal or Seal Plus or multi-purpose liquid glue, any kind of adhesive that you have that works really well to combine papers together. And we're just going to layer these two together like that. And I'm looking at all sides as I'm laying it down and then pressing it. So to put the card together, we're going to put adhesive here. This is going to be the inside of our card. The inside of our card is going to be just this explosion of color. That's what I did with all of the versions of the cards, is the inside is the louder color, which would typically be called the A side of the paper. The B side is going to be less distracting for our image that we're putting out there, right? Was I an art teacher, Sandy? I took a lot of art classes. Thank you for asking. I did not actually teach art specifically, except in my elementary school teaching days to my own classroom. But I took a lot of art classes in high school and in college. Okay, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm lining this up so that I can see both sides are pretty even. I've also got it a little bit beyond right there, and that's on purpose because you're going to have to grab this and tuck it and pull it, and then what happens is it lines up. All right, because we had that extra tiny little amount over the edge there when we scored that. So that allowed us to not have any exposed white down here that you would get if you scored it exactly. Okay, so we've got that. And then we can go ahead and take and put adhesive on the four corners of the back side of this piece. If you want to use more adhesive, you certainly can. I'm comfortable with 4 little pieces right there. And we're eyeballing it all, making sure it looks even on all 4 sides, and pressing it down. Okay, the next step is to take this piece. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have stamped the inside sentiment on the white inner layer, because if I make a mistake, especially since I have a cling mount stamp set, if I make a mistake, I could always flip it over and use the other side. But yeah, didn't do that, so we're just going to have to trust that it's going to be okay. So when I lay this down, I'm going to kind of have it off center, and I know that this section is not going to need adhesive. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to avoid this section. I'm just going to put adhesive through here. Okay, I avoided that area. And now I can put my owl on here, like so. And then I'm going to bring in a ribbon that is leaving us. So we've got some new product and we got some old product. This is the soft seafoam seam binding ribbon. Seam binding. This is so pretty. It's so light. It's so thin. And it's got a sheen to it. It's soft seafoam, which is this color in here. So we're going to go with our ribbon scissors, the one that has the ribbon tied around it, because when you're doing paper crafting, you want to have a scissors just for your fabric type of things like your ribbons. And we're cutting down the middle. We're just leading it through like this. And you can see how I'm holding with the 2 other fingers in the front, and that helps to keep it straight. We're going to layer these 2 over each other, form 2 rabbit ears. We're going to cross them over each other. We're going to do an overhand to pull, and then we can adjust. I can adjust our loops here. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the ribbon just a little bit here and there so that I have two different size loops. I want one loop, I'm going to pull them apart here so you can see them. I want one loop to just be slightly smaller than the other. And the top one, the one that sits on top, if I can pull that one to be slightly smaller, then they'll stay separated. Same thing here. All these little fibers that are coming off, you can just clean that out by kind of pulling them like that. Then we'll trim the ends. I like to trim at an angle when I cut my ribbons. So just like that. And they're both at 2 different lengths as well. And then we'll grab a glue dot. And we'll take your pick tool. I think that'll help me grab it. Here's the pokey end of the take your pick tool, and I'll just grab a little glue dot like that. And I'm going to stick it down, not to the side, but just under the side, right here, maybe towards the feet, depending on how you positioned your owl on your card. So then we'll just lay the middle of our ribbon right there. So if you're liking this seam binding, it is retiring, it's leaving us. One more thing that I want to add to that card is an embellishment. And I could bring in these, but I chose to bring in the color that matches this little guy's eyes. So I'm going to bring in our Glossy Dots assortment. You can see I love these guys because I've used quite a few. And for this one, because there's a large surface area on these Glossy Dots, I kind of have to peel them up with my hand. If you want to, you can get your take your pick tool underneath them, but they don't really work with doing that push and lift sort of technique that I've demonstrated in the past. Let's stick that one down there. I'll show you with the take your pick technique. So just bend the backing a little bit and grab your take your pick tool and you can lift it up. We'll stick another one there and we'll use the medium size. So we're going to use all three sizes, one of each, which makes it efficient for using your glossy dots because they come in 3 different sizes, right? So there's that. And then you can see this is the other half of that designer paper. So you have 2 different designs in here because they came from the same sheet. You're going to get a slightly different look depending. And then we're just going to flip these open on the inside and you can see what I did on the inside. I stamped the It's Your Day, which I've got here. I'm not going to stamp it right here because I'm not angled straight over my card, but you can stamp first, then turn it over. If you make a mistake, you have 2 chances, right? All right. How much snow did we get? Oh, I don't know. It snows all the time here. I'm going to look out the window. I guess we did get a fresh little coating of snow here in our area, but I don't know how much. I was not watching the news. Not very much. Not 8 inches like you had. Okay, and also, can you see this here too? We've got a little hint of color there. That's why you want to pick a color that is shown in this designer paper here. Not a real strong one. Like, I didn't want to pick the greenish colors. First of all, it would have blended in too much on the front. I wanted to pick something that was, you know, just a small amount on this side. So I picked something that was strong and more contrasting. So that's those 2 cards. Let's just peek at working on this guy here for a second. We're going to color this one in with the Orchid Oasis. You're going to see a slight difference in the coloring done with this guy because these blends are darker for the body. We're going to do soft seafoam for the eyeballs. So let's do those first just to get the quick section done. So light, and then to the dark. And if you get in the habit of opening your markers that way, you're going to save the tips of them, I promise you. Too many tips have been busted because people were pulling the caps off that way. Again, these blend pretty well, so I don't really have to touch into the eyes too much on that. There's our soft seafoam eyes. Let's go ahead with the light, dark, light on our Orchid Oasis color. So this one's nice and dark. You're going to see a big contrast here, and hopefully I won't shake my hands too much and my eyeballs will work so that I can see what I'm coloring. The darker the color, the more your mistakes will be seen, so you want to color carefully. I'm also not going over sections like tons of times because the more ink you put onto your paper or your cardstock, the more the saturation will cause it to bleed outside of the black outline. So again, the point on my brush tip is helping me to go into those really, really tiny areas like the points of the wings. And the whole time I'm coloring this right now, I'm praying that I don't get outside the lines. If you've seen anything that went outside the lines, I apologize. I'm coloring in front of lots of people. Turn your paper sometimes to get that point in the right places. Okay, so we've gone over with the light, which is not that light. It's a pretty dark color, but we still want to do some shading. So we're going to come in with the dark color now and do the same areas we did before. So we're just coming in here with some dark and underneath here, the chin area, and right into the armpit, the wing pit. Okay, you can see the difference really well right now, right? And then we're coming back with the light. And we're going to do that swirly whirly, you know, just kind of a circular motion. And blending the 2 colors together. And not working on it too long because, again, that can cause saturation. But we're just doing it enough where we can get those 2 colors to mix pretty well. You may even have to go do a second round of it if it's a super dark color, but we're going to wait a while and see if those colors blend a little bit more. Now, because sometimes they blend when they're just sitting there. Now we're going to take our papers. Let's see, that one went with this card. Now we've got Calypso Coral, and we've got, ooh, this fun stuff. This is Baker's Twine. This is our Baker's Twine from the 2022 through 24 collection of colors, and it's our Orchid Oasis color. So I've got 2 strands of that, each about 9 inches, 8 or 9 inches. And same thing, I'm going to grab those 2 strands and I'm going to do an overhand and just pull that loop through, adjust the ends, tighten it. For this one, I didn't have to trim anything down the middle. It's a little bit easier to work with. And then we can snip the ends, especially if they're frayed. And you don't have to even snip them at an angle, right? Okay, so those are ready. Let's do the assembly process again. Ooh, and before we do, that's why I set this here. Let's go ahead and stamp. We're using Tuxedo Memento Black for the blends markers, and we might as well use it with our sentiment too. And I forgot to put the label on this. So we're gonna flip it over. Yay, 251 people watching. Thanks, Catherine. That's on YouTube, she said. Okay, so now we're gonna stamp. You know what? Let's do this first. Use our grid paper and stamp it. Okay, good. Now I know how to stamp straight on this. Sometimes stamping onto your grid paper gives you an idea if your stamp is tilted or not, or if you need to do anything different in that way. Okay, we're good to go. So now let's grab our designer paper, crease it, add our seal adhesive, put it over the top, line it up, make sure everything looks even, and then press it down. Add our adhesive on the back side in the 4 corners. The owl is so cute, right? Yes, I agree. We're going to go ahead and press that down here. Oh, thanks, Pam. I'm impressed too. You know, I think what happens is I just get so nervous that I concentrate extra hard during the videos because I don't always stamp straight, but I appreciate your kind words. Okay, you know what? We're going to do a little bit more blending on him because he's looking like he still has that separation of color. So I'm coming in with the, what color is this? Is the lighter or the darker? The lighter. So we're just going to come back again through here where you can see some of the colors kind of not combining as well. And I'm just going to go through and connect again. So we're doing another layer, if that makes sense. And then we'll come back and we'll do this dark again. So we're saturating it just a little bit. And if you color and then you let something sit, it can dry too much where you can't then manipulate the colors to mesh together, just so you know. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. Now we're going to go ahead and put adhesive on all but this section here. So we're flipping it over, putting our adhesive through here. Whoops. Sticking it down off to the side. Adding our glue dot with the Take Your Pick tool. Right over here. A little bit down. And then the embellishments that we're going to use on this one, again, still not the new ones. We're going to bring in another set of embellishments. By the way, this Baker's Twine comes in all 5 colors that are the 2022 through 24 in colors, okay? So for this one, we're going to add, we could even add like the Starry Sky. So we've got Orchid Oasis and Starry Sky. Now I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool, little gummy end here. It's just going to push and lift. See how that does that? Stick one up there, push, oops, push and lift. And the gummy end grabs it so it sticks right to that spot there. And I think I have another larger one at the bottom here. Okay, now let me show you the 2 versions of that combination using the same papers. Oops. Okay, we're not getting that on there very well. There we go. So one has a slightly busier background than the other one, but still the ta-da moment is when you open it up and look at all of those colors, right? Lots more festive on the inside. I used the darker of the blues, the Orchid Oasis color. Okay, you got the gist of your coloring. So now I'm going to show you 3 other samples. This one here I colored with the Fresh Freesia, Balmy Blue, and Daffodil Delight. This is the Daffodil Delight cardstock, Fresh Freesia ribbon, Balmy Blue cardstock, and then we've got this fun paper design. And this is what we come up with for that card. Again, I did cut the ribbon in half. It just gives you a different look to your ribbon than if you were to use the ribbon as is and tie it in a bow. Kind of gives it more of a daintier look, right? So there's that, and you can see the difference between the 2 colors when you open them up. This is the patterning that you would see on the inside. Oops, right there. Okay, so all I have to do is do the ribbon on this one and then assemble it all, and I'll have that one done. And then I've got another version here. Oops, I'm going to show you this one first. This one does not have the opposite partner because I already sent that card away. But this one's using Evening Evergreen ribbon instead of the Fresh Freesia because those come in lots of pretty colors. The 21 through 23 in color open weave ribbon. We've got the Evening Evergreen cardstock here. We've got the glossy dots again, but this time I used the gorgeous grape color. And Daffodil Delight, Fresh Freesia, I know, purple eyes, right? And Soft Succulent is what I chose for coloring the owl's body, and there's the inside of that. And then the last one is this one here, and this is using more of that twine, the baker's twine, but here we have those new embellishments because I just couldn't find any other embellishment that I wanted to use besides these, and they're new, and I thought I'd show them off. I didn't use the gold or the blue on any of these cards, but you're going to find that you're going to love these and you're going to want them anyways. So I use the pink ones that have, they're called Petal Pink, but they have kind of a blushing bride look to them too. The colors of the cardstock: Petal Pink, Soft Succulent, I'm sorry, not Soft Succulent, Orchid Oasis, and then of course the basic white. And then the colors here are the Orchid Oasis, Petal Pink, Balmy Blue. This is the darker of the 2 twines. Here, let me grab that card again. So this one is the lighter one, it's Orchid Oasis, and then this one is the Starry Sky, because you can see a lot of starry sky or dark blues in this, and when we flip it over, that's the inside of that one. I figured this one needed the darker blue. All of these cards, of course, will fit into our medium basic white envelopes. Let me pull them all out so you can see them again. And I don't have all of them done in 2 different versions, but a couple of them I do now, right? And then we'll just zoom out a bit. Add a cap on the owl for graduation. Great idea, Bobby. Yes, because owls do signify like graduation card imagery, don't they? Because they're wise. Owls are wise. So there we have lots of different versions of our owl cards. And now I have, what, 7 more to give for the December birthdays coming up. All right, what did I want to, I have to share a couple other cards with you. These cards I'm just going to give you a glimpse at. And then tomorrow in my blog, so you can visit my website at stampyourartout.com and click on blog. And when you're there, you'll be able to see these cards. So I made a couple other versions using the same layouts, but they're Happy New Year cards, and they're using some paper that's going to leave us soon. It's called Celebrate Everything. The way that you get that paper is it's through Stampin' Rewards earnings. When you have a $150 order or more, you get to pick at least $15 in freebies. And so your $15 in freebie or Stampin' Rewards money could go towards the Celebrate Everything pack, which is huge. It's a huge 12 by 12 pack of designer paper. So I'll have the details on those on tomorrow's blog post. Retiring products list, I've been mentioning that throughout. There are things that are leaving us, like the soft seafoam ribbon. You'll want to make sure that you get in on anything that's leaving. You can, again, go to my website, stampyourartout.com, click on the shop button. Anytime you see a shop word, or like click here to shop, or the word shop or whatever, it's going to take you to the online store so that you can order products. You can peruse and order products that way. What else do I want to mention? Oh, clearance rack. Check out the clearance rack too. We have a clearance rack that's usually, you know, there's not a lot in there, but there has been recently. So you'll want to check that out. Those are items that have retired a while ago, and they've come back because they still have a surplus of this stuff. Blends are fun, aren't they? I'm so glad that you guys had a good time with that. I'm going to share with you winners and prizes. We got to do that next. But before I do that, so stick around, make sure you're commenting so you get in on the prize drawing. Before I do that, I want to tell you about a special thing that's happening tomorrow. Okay, and I'm going to preempt that, is that the right word? I'm going to first say, Stampin' Up! Apologizes for the delays in the orders that have happened December 1st on. There's a little bit of delay going on because December 1st was one of their biggest sales days ever. I mean, seriously, it's like, I don't remember how many, like the third biggest sales day or something like that, but it was huge. And I don't think they anticipated that. They have people, even people who are on the corporate team, they have Shelley Gardner and Sarah Douglas who are picking orders. Everyone's volunteering their time, their extra time, to pick orders. They're trying to work hard to catch up on the orders. I believe if I look at my own orders from my customers, that they've already sent out orders that have processed like through December 3rd and 4th by now. So they're working hard. They're catching up now. December 1st was huge, and now they're going to get caught up. So when I tell you about this thing that's happening tomorrow, don't go, what? Because they're going to be fine. And they've had free shipping days before. It's a free shipping day tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, December 15th, you can get in on free shipping if you have an order that is $75 or more. That's in the US. Every market's different, so check your market. If you are a demonstrator, you're getting your discount on top of it. And so yay for us. If you want to become a demonstrator, you certainly can. If you are a demonstrator, when I'm doing these videos, order from yourself, please. Every once in a while, I catch a demonstrator ordering from me, and I'm like, why? And they said they're sharing the love or whatever. But order from yourself. I want you to stay active. It's fun to be on the demonstrator side of things. And if you have a demonstrator who is not me, order from them. I love sharing my ideas. Let's move to prizes. Okay, so let's pull those out really quick. All right, last week's prizes. I have pre-ordered a lot of products from the upcoming mini catalog. Lots of orders. One of my 3 orders that went in on December 1st. Sorry, I was part of the problem too. Included these little things. These are celebration freebies. I ordered a lot. Now I expedite my orders, and you have a choice to do that, but you got to pay extra. I expedited mine, which is why I got my stuff earlier. I have a whole bunch of Thanks a Bunch celebrations and a whole bunch of the adorable owls. And if your name was drawn last week, you got to pick from these, and there were 2 people whose names were drawn. You know what I forgot to share with you guys? I forgot to share with you I'll share that in a second. A lot of you are like, wait a minute, where's the information sheet or whatever, the PDF? Okay, let me first tell you that I have not heard from Susan Sanders yet. So if you're live with us, Susan, you want the choice of these 2 stamp sets, reach out to me. I'm going to now put my email up there so that as we announce prize winners, that you can contact me. Okay, so I'm going to make that go away really quick. And I'm going to announce to you and show you. Do I not have that up here yet? Maybe that's why, because I don't have my computer display on here. I need a tech person in the background with me. Okay, now we're ready. So I'm going to click off that, and we are going to take a peek at our winner from YouTube after live comments from last week. Ta-da! Marianne Jack, you are the winner from the After Live comments on YouTube. You get to pick from one of those 2 stamp sets. And for our Facebook winner, we have Alberta Hoika. So congratulations to the both of you for winning. We're going to keep those same prizes, by the way. So as Trisha is looking to do her random pick of winners, I'm just going to tell you again, you have a choice between these 2 stamp sets because I have a ton of them. So it's the same prize this week. I know, crazy, right? The winners are, and let's see if I can make them highlighted as they come up on my screen here. We have, where did they go? Oh, there they are. There we go. And I'm going to take this off my screen really quick so you can read it. Pam Kim and Deb Thrill, you are the winners for the live commenters. Congratulations to you two. Make sure that you reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net. Next week is, so we're already having Christmas. Oops, how did I do that? Congrats, Susan. Oh, I got to find that comment and unclick it now. I clicked a comment accidentally. I'm so sorry. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. There, now I've fixed it. Okay, so next week we are not going to be live. I'm not going to be live with you because it's in between my 2 weekends of Christmas celebrations. This weekend is my husband's side of the family, so we're meeting with the Jandros this coming weekend. And then the next weekend is already Christmas, you guys, and that's 24th, 25th, around there. That's with my side of the family. So in between there, it's going to be crazy at our house, I know. And I'm not going to go live next week. I'm sure a lot of you are crazy busy right now too, getting ready for the holidays. Even if it's not Christmas, December is filled with holidays. We got Hanukkah, we got Kwanzaa, we got all kinds of things going on, right? So just take that week and relax, and I'll keep posting on my blog. I just won't have a video. I won't have the live. So I hope that you come back the following week on the 28th. And again, don't forget about the retiring products. Make your wish list, you guys, because it'll soon be new catalog time. Don't forget about the clearance rack and free shipping tomorrow. And gosh, I think that's it. I think I covered it all. You know what's funny is always after my live is, I didn't cover it all. After my live is done, I say to myself, what did I forget? And I usually forget something. And this time I forgot this. I cannot believe this, you guys. This PDF will be available on my blog post. I should have shown it to you earlier. Usually I show it to you ahead of time in case any of you want to create with me. And there are, believe it or not, a few of you who actually create with me. So I apologize to those of you that were going to do that. But you can see the measurements are on there. They're general measurements just because, again, depending on which card you decide to copy, your colors might be different. But then the supplies are all listed there. The first 3 are not clickable because they are not live products. But if you go down to Stylish Shapes and you click on it, you're able to bring it up in the online store. Okay? All right. So yes, a big congrats to all our winners. A big thank you to Trisha Josephs for being with us this whole time. Did I cover it all, Trisha? I hope so. That's it. So I'm going to let you all go. And I want you all to have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Enjoy spending time in celebration with family, friends. Enjoy the peace. Yes, just take it all in. It's a great time of year. We will see you on the 28th. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.